Okay, hopefully now you have a decent idea how to process arrays and parallel arrays, and and process the arrays using indexing and your logic and so on. Or at least you have the introduction to it, and you're practicing or you're beginning to practice how to do these things. There's one more topic I want to talk about. That's a small topic, and it's sort of a nice to know topic, and it has to deal with this thing called an array class that you see before you here. This is a class that Microsoft provides us. Um, Again, for this course, our goals in this course, and really the programming one and programming two, we use VB.net as a means to teach you programming. We feel it's rather easy to learn how to program in VB.net, and we as instructors also believe it's really nice to reference VB.net when we teach you future programming languages such as Java and C and web programming and Python and so on. Um, with that, we don't get into all the little cutesy things that Microsoft provides us to do things, Microsoft ways. We teach you kind of the long ways to ensure that you can relate to everything that you're learning in this course to languages that you're going to be learning throughout the curriculum and in your future endeavors. All right, if I taught you how to do things based upon how Microsoft wants you to do them in their shortcut ways, you wouldn't really be able to, we want to say, reference that when you need to do it in web programming. Okay, and that's going to hold true also when we get into our discussions on databases and how to access databases and call databases and so on. But with that said, there's one more topic I think is kind of neat and that I want you to at least play with and know that it's there. It is a thing called an array class. And the reason I do bring it up because a lot of programming languages have their own set of functions and classes available to you to make your programming life a little bit easier. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I want to kind of show you what this is. So an array class, basically in this case here, for people who have taken the object-oriented course or is now taking the object-oriented course, you're going to learn a lot about object-oriented and what a class is. So in this case, what a class that Microsoft's providing is a bunch of programming code that's for reuse. That is something that they felt that it's for people doing things over and over again the same way. And as you see here, this class provides methods. Methods are functions and procedures that for manipulating, creating, searching, and sorting arrays, thereby serving as the base class for all arrays in the Common Language Runtime. You might want to know what that CLR stands for, Common Language Runtime. That's part of the whole .NET infrastructure. And what it provides us here is a means to, you can utilize this array class and its methods to do a lot of different things. And I'm not going to read through this or go through this. I welcome you to go read through it. But for the most part, it has properties and it has methods. And as you see, these methods, again, are little pieces of programs that you can actually use. You can clear an array. You can clone an array. You can copy an array. I think it's down here from one piece to another. And feel free once again to go ahead and play with these as much as you want. There's a description here on all of these. All right. I just want to make you aware that they're here and sort of make you aware of something like this that could be referenced in many different types of programming languages. So you may want to look at, as you search for other programming languages, how to manipulate an array and so on. How we showed you so far, utilizing loops and so on, is the means of us doing it, okay? And that would reflect in every language that you ever will take. That logic will always hold true. There's always an index, there's always a for next loop, and so on that you can utilize to process an array. These are shortcuts, meaning these are just the same type of code that's written for you, and all you got to do is call it, and it'll do it for you, meaning you'll call the method, okay? The one that we will play with, though, is just to give you an example of one, and it'll also allow you to play with it in your assignments, is called sorting, where we can sort an array, and it's sitting right here, okay? I provided this link to you as part of this video. It should be attached, or there should be a link associated to it as part of this video, and so you can kind of look at this as you go through. Let's play around with this a little bit and see what this sorting of an array does for us. So we'll do this with our little parallel array piece that we talked about in a previous video. And for the most part, instead of, we sit back and we do this piece right here, I just want to show you what this can do for us. And in a lot of ways, not a ton, but a little bit, at least enough to give you an example. And I think it's going to be more relevant to you in your assignment than it would be for this particular situation. Nonetheless, right now what we're doing is we're sorting through and we're trying to find who the cookie leader is and the classroom leader is. So if you sit back and I tell you we're going to do an array.sort, is that starting to ring ideas in your head of what could we possibly do with a sort? So if I sat back and very quickly, let's just say I'll take this right here. Let's go ahead and I'm going to comment that out. And I still want to get the leader to all this thing. How could I do it? Well, if I took my array, right, and I had my array sitting there, I should have, I don't think I have it up right now, and I have it, populated accordingly, and and I have different numbers all the way through on each element. We're going to loop through it to find the highest one. Well, if I sorted that array, I could possibly do the same thing, meaning now I take the array and sort it from top to bottom, meaning I'm going to either have the lowest number at the top and the highest number at the bottom, or the highest number at the top and the lowest number at the bottom. And so I literally sort all the elements. Pretty powerful, don't you think? How do you do this? It's really hard. Array.sort. There you go. And basically you'll put in there the array in which you're going to sort. Okay, so when I said it's really hard, it's not. And so what this is going to do is going to take all the elements in the array and based upon the numeric values that are in each element, it will sort them for you from low to high, ascending basically, okay? And then what we can do is we can sit back and say, okay, that's cool. So now it's sorted. So instead of me processing and doing all of this, I can actually come down to here and sit back and say, okay, where is the highest number? Now, there's two different ways of sorting. For people who took IT 111, you did order by, correct? And that was a sort also. We did either sorted by ascending or descending. Array.sort only sorts ascending. Okay, that's the only way that it will actually do it. So if we sit back and actually play with this, and let's kind of play with this a little bit and step through it. And so I come down here to where I'm going to display it, and instead of having that leader, I just point to the very first element. Excuse me. And so in this case here, we sit back and if we run this thing, all right, and we do this right here, and we say Sneezy sold 10, Submit, and Bashful sold 30. Well, what our hope would be if we did the show the leader is that we would see who, Bashful should be winning with 30. Well, we have 0 with 0 boxes. Classroom 0 with 0 boxes sold. Why is that? Well, 0 was in our list. Everything was initialized to 0. And as I said before, our problem with this is that it only sorts ascending. So it will actually, so when it actually sorted, the first element's going to have all the zeros in it, if there's zeros all the way through it. Does that make sense? So how do we sort it descending? There really is no great way of doing it. What you can do is another method called reverse. So I can take this piece right here and actually reverse it if I wanted to. Okay? Now if I did this, let's look at how this works. Okay? We sit back and we say, okay, Grumpy sold 20, submit, and Bashful sold 30. So Bashful should be leading right now, and we show the leader. And Classroom 30, what am I doing wrong? Classroom 30 with 0 boxes sold. I have something really wrong right now. Classroom, I think I have this, I have this all kind of backed up, so I should have the classroom here. This should be right here. Sorry about that. We'll just do it this way for a second. And so, but you kind of saw what actually happened, right? That it actually did now kind of take, it sorted it and then it reversed it. So it actually put the highest number to the top. So this is another way of actually doing it sorting a single dimensional array, uh, a single dimensional array that way. Okay, I'm sorry, single dimensional array descending. So I hope you get the kind of the idea there. All right, and grumpy 10 and bashful 30. We should have 30 that will pop up, but we still got to get the classroom working. All right. Now, with all that said, that's perfectly great. That all works out really well. The problem is that if we sit back and we say, okay, well, if this all works out well, I want to do the classroom. Let's get my classroom right here correct right now. There we go. And we make that 0, 2. Okay. Run this one more time. And now we should have this. So Doc, we'll say at 20, and Bashful at 30. Okay, so Bashful should be winning, but it says happy. Well, we got a problem here. So basically we have two parallel arrays, correct? But they're not parallel anymore, or it doesn't relate to each other because we sorted one array and we didn't sort the other one. So to sort the other array, all we got to do is put a comma here. So this will be the primary sort in a sense. It's going to sort both arrays, but the second one's going to stay in tune or stay related like it originally was to the first array. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So all I have to do in this case here is put this here. Unfortunately, it doesn't work with reverse. Okay? You'll see all of a sudden reverse says, you can't have that. You overloaded it. It's not right. Reverse doesn't work. So now I can't do that again. So it's going to only be an ascending sort. So how do I fix that? Well, pretty easy. I will come down here and put, let's see, str classroom name, dot length, gth minus 1. So I'm going to go to the last one. I don't care if it sorts ascending. I'll go to the last one, which should be my winner in this case. Again, pure logic, right? And I can do the exact same thing here on this index. I could have put the other name in there if I wanted to, but for the most part, that's what I did. So now what I did is I kept these both in tune, both same. They stayed related now. And if I did this correct, and submit, and we will have bashful or sleepy, we'll have it 40, and show the leader, sleepy with 40 boxes sold. So there you go. Whoops. There you go. A neat way of, instead of looping, I sorted and used the index and played around a little bit smart, knowing I can't do it descending. So I did it this way. This way, I sorted both at the same time, kept them related, and everything worked perfectly. So there is System.Array, and there is array.sort. Try it out.